What's going on, everybody? Not here. And after the fun that's been the last couple of days, it's time to talk about some non BS. So I want to talk a little bit about allocation and some super interesting intel I got today from one of the distributors. And it almost seems to me like the Pokemon company is taking a little bit of a page out of Bandai's book. And if those of you who don't know much about One Piece or the new Gundam game coming, they're a little bit more hands-on when it comes to allocation as opposed to here you go, you guys figure it out. But I want to talk about this in a couple different ways. So, as many of you know and are aware, GameStop just went through. They canceled a massive number of orders. GameStop is obviously getting their product from either the Pokemon Company direct or they're getting the product through one of the distribution partners, most likely Excel, who stocks Target, or MJ Holdings slash GT Collectibles, who stocks Walmart. Um, but when we look at Surging Sparks and Prior, we were able to buy as much ancillary product as we wanted from distribution. So, the booster box is kind of the granddaddy of all, but we could buy cases and cases of ETBs pretty much on open order up until release. Now, Surging was probably open order up until about the week before, and then it really started to crack down. But sleeve boosters, I think I mentioned on here, we bought 65 cases of sleeve boosters from Magazine Exchange and PhD. They were open order, and they were open order after release date. And the same with bundles. There was a lot of bundles that we could have gotten. We didn't get bundles at that point in time for varying reasons. Um, and then the 3-pack boosters you could have got, or blisters you could have gotten, etc. So what's interesting through this sea change, and let's just throw Prismatic out the window because as especially said, it's not super relevant. Um, but when we look at Journey Together and the large push that the big box stores have had with the product, and I think I've mentioned this before, that it almost feels like the Pokemon Company has made a concerted effort to kind of cast a wider net. Um, you know, there's only a certain percent of the total addressable market that's going to go into an LGS, and it's a really really small percentage of people that would potentially buy Pokemon product. So pushing more product out to your big box stores, your Best Buys, your GameStops makes all the sense of the world to somebody who's in the ivory tower and, doesn't quite understand how distribution works. Once you get down to some of the lower level people who, they're making 15, 20 bucks an hour, and, making an extra 20 bucks, 100 bucks actually matters in their everyday life. So, it seems with Prismatic Evolutions, um, the product went to Walmart, it went to Target, and it was a complete free for all, right? You know, you get to places where Walmart was restocked. There'd be some Jo who'd go in there and take everything else, and for himself, and that'd be that. Same with Target in store. You had people ordering tens of cases of ETBs from GameStop. And I think early on, GameStop led that because they didn't understand that the product was going to be super allocated and quite honestly, in such high demand. Not sure why, but they haven't been the sharpest company when it comes to strategy. But as we go into Journey Together, we look at the allocations, the sleeve booster boxes, which were effectively unlimited. Previously, I think we got 3 cases across all of our distro, maybe 4. Um, Everybody I talked to, they've gotten almost nothing. I went on Hill's website, Wholesale Gaming, the other day, and they listed their Journey Together, and I like to just plug in the number, see how much they have, because they generally list everything within reason. 3 cases they had available for sale of sleeve boosters, and the sleeve boosters are 144. They're the hanger packs for stores. Moving to ETBs. ETBs again, that was kind of the granddaddy. You could get them next to booster boxes pretty much nonstop. Um, I think we got 50 to 60 ETBs across all of our distribution. Um, and it's kind of embarrassing because yeah, it's tough to even run a sale. It's like they almost just stay in the store and they're there for stock, and that's kind of that. But everybody else across the industry has experienced the exact same phenomenon. Same with bundles. I don't really deal a whole lot in sleep boosters because, quite honestly, they're just a pain in the ass to deal with. And if we have non-sealed, rip your fingers apart, pulling the plastic um, off of a piece of cardboard, our customers like that a little bit better. But you know, almost no ETBs, almost no sleeve boosters, but we got a ton of booster boxes, and which, quite honestly, is what we wanted. So I started thinking, you look at GameStop canceled most of their booster box orders, right? It feels to me like all the big box stores were effectively pushed the stuff they sell on the shelves, right? Your ETBs, your sleeve boosters. Now, anybody who knows a little bit about supply chain knows that there's a very, very high degree of certainty that Journey Together, uh, or the Pokemon Company, didn't have the opportunity to extend the print duration for this set because it would have been stacked up most likely in advance of the Surging Sparks follow through, and then Twilight going nuts, and then the entire tail wagging the dog, if you will, of all the Scarlet and Violet sets catching fire. So I don't think the print run is much different, if any different, than what Surging Sparks was. I think it's effectively a reallocation of the products that can sell in big box stores, bundles as well, where the customer can consume the product in smaller chunks as opposed to booster boxes, which they're going to be $250 at release most likely. Um, that is not a product for the everyday person at this point in this day and age. So it seems like the Pokemon Company went to, and I'm getting to a point here because with this reprint coming, yeah, it's important. Um, the booster boxes went to the LGSs, and the ancillary product went to the stores, the big box stores, who can move them much more easily, and it becomes effectively more accessible for the general population. Which effectively, to build the brand, you need more people to buy the product, have the product, get access to the product. So that being said, uh, spoke to a reasonably high level um, person today in one of the distributors, and the understanding is with this reprint coming, and again, it's Obsidian Flames, The Evolved, Twilight Masquerade, Paldean Fates, and Surging Sparks. It seems like the Pokemon Company has gotten their fingers into this a little bit. And again, not confirmed. It's just what one person is telling me. Not confirmed with multiple distributors. That the push is to get as much of the product to local game stores as possible. And the reason for that is, quite honestly, big box stores don't really sell booster boxes. You see it every now and then. I think GT Collectibles had Surging Sparks for $1.99, but they don't sell them in the store on the shelves, I guess is my point. So they want the product in the stores. They also are making a concerted effort to minimize how much product goes to online retailers, rip and shippers, because certain distributors, such as well, I don't want to say any names, but certain distributors will allow those accounts, where others you need proof of an LGS. So they're minimizing how much they're allocating there, regardless of spend, and maximizing the amount of product that goes to stores. Now, this person theoretically mentioned that most likely nobody's going to get 100% or close to what they're asking for, but he anticipates, generally speaking, most stores will have more than enough product to get to where they need to get to. And the reason behind releasing 5 products at the same time, along with the new release Journey Together, is the spend now gets dispersed across 6 different products. So, you put one set out and there's nothing else, it's going to get snapped up in 3 seconds and it's dead. So now you have 6 different targets, multiple SKUs, and obviously Journey Together, you won't have them in the rest outside of some bundles. it becomes far more difficult to not keep the product available, at least for a short amount of time. Now, I don't think it's going to have any impact on the price, quite honestly, because a lot of those stores, I mean, if they're going to sell it, they're going to sell it locally, which has zero impact on the overall market on TCG Player, or eBay or anywhere else. Um, but I think a lot of stores are just they're going to sit on it. We don't see the race to zero with Pokemon that we see with Magic, because these stores that have been choking on Pokemon product for so long, and it's just been dead inventory in the back. Now all of a sudden it's a gold mine that they've been able to sell and recoup cash flow that was just sitting there in dead money for so long. Um, but I think it's super interesting that the Pokemon Company appears to have gone from let's cast a wide net. We'll hope the big box stores don't screw up the execution on getting this to as many people as possible, which was a complete and absolute failure, to you know what? We're going to make sure that the booster boxes make it to the stores where they can make it in the hands of players, collectors, um, you know, bots, etc. Can't really get there. You're limited with the GameStop, so your GameStop is a little bit crippled. So you kind of have to go to a big to an LGS. I'm sure Target is going to sell them, but they'll have a limit of 3, which is interesting. Best Buy now has a queue system where they're limiting folks. I'm sure there's certain software that bypasses that. I don't know. So really, the only outlier at this point is Walmart and MJ Holdings / GT Collectibles, and it remains to be seen. What's out there now. Again, with Paladin Fates bundles, which GT had a couple weeks ago, it was, I think, an order of maximum of 12 per order, and you could just keep ordering again and again and again until the inventory was gone. But at the volume that those guys are putting out, it doesn't disappear instantly. So it's going to be super interesting to see if this is the direction of Pokemon, because me as a store, I quite honestly love to have the booster boxes if nobody else can get them from your online retailers, big box stores. But it also sucks because sleeve booster packs were good as a backup, and the ETBs are nice, and the bundles. Again, I think part of the reason why we've seen so many bundles is they're a much smaller bite to take, and when the Pokemon Company increases MSRP, most likely this year, you're talking about $180 booster box at MSRP. You're even more so pricing out the younger generation who's trying to get into the game. So you need a small bite-sized product, and it's really not even the ETB now. It's going to be the booster bundle or your blister pack. So anyway, guys, I thought that was fascinating. It's good to get back to normal. Hat tip to everybody out there. It's good that everybody kept an open mind and stayed professional in the end. So guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, join the Discord, and we'll see you tomorrow.